What up YouTube, it's Misery Company. In this video, we are doing our Diablo Reddit recap. I'm a little bit late for this one, but I have been a little under the weather, feeling much better now, and I want to go ahead and get right back into it. So let's look at what the Diablo Immortal subreddit has to offer us. Let's get straight to it. Okay, so I look for all kinds of interesting topics before I make the Reddit recap, and I have a few different tabs up here that I want to cover. So first, let's kick it off with a question that I feel like a lot of us have been asking, and I have a personal opinion on it, and if I think it's going to be changed. And the question is, can you please remove the Battle Pass skin restriction? Change to DH, claim the skin, but I want to go back to my wizard and have this month's Battle Pass. Please, Blizzard, we pay for it. So again, a lot of people have talked about this. I will upvote this every time I see it until something is done. Please, you/sinful_scribe, keep passing this back to the team. So again, I'm assuming this is one of the community managers? Question mark. Who is he? Yeah, community manager. All right, good to know there. Good to know. But again, I think that the biggest thing to know here is that it's not going to be changing, in my opinion. Push this topic to heaven. The skin restrictions are pure scam. This needs to change. Blizzard, wake up. How much more feedback do you need? You will lose players much faster if you keep decentivizing class change. Give us skins. We paid for it. It is a little ridiculous at this point. Unless they plan to bring it back, all the skins in the second rotation in year 2, there's no reason why we can't share cosmetics across all classes. I would agree. It does. I mean, obviously, all of us would love to have all of our skins on all the classes, but they have, in my opinion, the introduction of a that really like pay heavy skin, which is cross class change, kind of proves to us that they're not going to be changing this. So I think we can ask as much as we want. I mean, this was posted 9 hours ago as the time of this recording. It's not going to change. I feel like Blizzard doubled down on it by making that sort of like more expensive skin. So yeah, I think that ultimately, it was mentioned in a couple of these comments, but ultimately it's very obvious that it is, there are a lot of reasons why you don't want a class change. And I did mention this in one of my previous videos. I don't think class change is dead, but I do think it's really only for certain people right now. And I don't think this is going to be something that they change on. It is something they have monetized. So at that point, why would they change it? We've all asked for a different style of monetization, being more cosmetic, and they kind of took that approach with this. So I don't see this changing. That's just my honest opinion there. I would love for it to change, but I highly doubt it will. Moving on, it says, pulled from my first 10 times legendary crest. Is this normal / any good? So we got a 3 out of 5 Blessing of the Worthy. You got a 2 out of 5 Phoenix Ashes, 2 out of 5 Winston's Haunting, a 2-star Hungerer, and then a bunch of 1-stars. This is a very, very, very good run. Hopefully it's the sellable legendary crest where you can actually sell this, because I mean, honestly, the only one that I would recommend using is this Winston's Haunting. Phoenix Ashes is okay. I mean, it's decent, but I would not like, there's better 5-stars I would want. And then Blessing of the Worthy, you know, there's a lot of drama around that. We're not going to touch on this on that video, or touch on that on this video. But yes. So yeah, like I said, I think ultimately there were better 5-stars I would have wanted to use, 5-star gems, but again, not bad. I mean, totally, especially as a free-to-play. If he is a free-to-play, who knows? I don't want to assume he. But yeah, interesting. Good pull. Let's see what the comments are. This is exceptionally a good run. It's highly abnormal to get 3 times 5-star gems in the same run. Don't expect that experience. I ran 2 more, pulled 1, 2 out of 5 from each with a handful of 2-stars in between. Lucky day, I guess. The game granted you a happy hour. Blizz is gonna love you. Yeah. This is, I mean, this basically does kind of confirm that a little bit of pay to win here. If you ran 2 more 10 pulls, obviously it's a certain amount of pay to win in that aspect. So that's what that comment means. I just think it's a little funny. No, don't expect this. Don't fall for the gotcha trap. Most pulls will be all 1-stars. Damn good run. I love these comments because getting 3 X-star gems in one run is amazing. And if you're starting out, these gems will really help. Bottle of the is really still bad. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think that Blessing of the Worthy is what he's talking about. But I do like Winston's Haunting. I mentioned this in several of my other videos. I think that it's severely underrated. And it's also incredibly cheap on most marketplaces, which is why I'm kind of doubling down on my advice and getting it. Again, I focus mainly on PvE. I totally agree it's not good for PvP, but I'm also not doing PvP. But I digress. Let's move on. So CR increase help. So this comment was a little rough to read, but I'm going to do my best. So I was wondering how to gradually increase my CR drastically more. Currently I'm 7,400 and in health 6. I grind. I grind and grind sets and legendaries, but 98% of them is not an upgrade, and those who are is barely moving me around 10 to 25 CR. So I haven't done Hell 6 Heliquary yet. I know it will dump a good chunk, but how about the rest until around 9k CR? Any tips or tricks? So again, maybe English isn't his first language here, but it is. If that's why, if you're listening to this instead of like watching it, that's why it was a little rough to read that one. You probably missed a ton of CR from Ancient Tableau and Heliquary. What level is it? So he says my Heli is level 19. I am not in a warband. Seems impossible to find one at my combat rating, which, you know, that is a little rough. So this is join a warband. If you can't find one within your clan, start a new warband. Do your raids. Most of your servers probably in Hell 7 right now. That means that getting a full group together for Hell 6 raids might be tricky on Monday and Thursday. Try on the other days. People won't mind lowering themselves back to Hell 6 if they already have their loot collected. Thank you, he says. So I totally agree with all this. 19 is way low. Yeah, I agree with this too. You're giving up hundreds of CR there from Heliquary itself and from Demonic Remains. Make it a priority to do the 5 highest raids you can twice a week. So I would agree, as somebody who did not do Heliquary for a long, long time, I dramatically regret that. And so I think I'm like Heliquary 31, maybe 32 now. And I also was not part of a warband for the longest time. I wasn't even playing the game when the Ancestral Tableau came out. So I'm definitely catching up in that aspect. I feel like I'm learning almost weekly on ways to increase my Tableau a little bit faster. I am working on a video for that as well. But those are definitely, it doesn't feel in the moment like a bunch of CR, but over time, because it is time gated, you are losing so much combat rating by not keeping up with those two things. So that's easily what he's missing here. And then obviously, I don't know what his legendary crests are. Obviously, that's going to add to it. The biggest thing with this game is that there's so many different things that factor into your combat rating that it's going to be very rare to get those massive jumps until you do get to that new hell difficulty, and that's when you see sort of like the massive upgrades, hundreds of CR at a time. But best of wishes, best of luck. Moving on. What is the average free-to-play resonance right now? I thought this was an interesting question. I wanted to see what people thought about this. So let's go ahead and look at the comments, and I'll give you my guess as well. I have around 1,100 resonance free-to-play grinding from first week, Paragon 490, and 11,100 CR. So that's actually really impressive. Very cool. This one says 1K after 8 months of grinding gems and dungeons, then selling them via the marketplace. Well done, bro. This is the way. Totally agree. That is a fantastic way of doing it. I've also made videos. If you're interested, go look on some of my tips and tricks playlist, and that'll show you the best way of getting platinum. I still do this right now in the game. The average is difficult to assess, as new players certainly have lower resonance, but for someone playing since the start, resonance between 800 and 1,000 should be possible. Most will be lower, around 500 upwards. All right, so I think basically sounds like 800 to 1,000-ish seems about right, is what people are saying. I do think these first two comments about having 1,100 as free to play is really, really strong, especially with the 11,000 CR. That means he hasn't stopped playing, basically. I find myself around the 10,000 combat rating, but I am at 2,000 resonance, and I'm lower because I did take that break and I don't have all that combat rating from the Heliquary as well as the Ancestral Tableau, as we mentioned previously. But I do think around 800 to 1,000 is pretty easy to get. I have an alt that's around like 500 CR, maybe 600 actually, now that I say that. And it feels like that was really, really, really easy to get. So that's just my opinion. So yeah, let's move on. So aren't we due for some patch notes? So I also thought we were due for some patch notes, so I wanted to bring up this one in the next topic here. Actually, I looked back on their last post on the 13th, and it said next update will come in about 3 weeks. Exactly 3 weeks would put us on February 3rd, meaning if they went 3.5 weeks, that would put us at next Tuesday. Darn. But maybe we will hear something this weekend, probably lined up with the end of the lunar in the next 4 to 5 days. Yeah, I agree. Obviously, they did speak to this, that we are not going to be getting another patch note for 3 weeks compared to the 2 weeks that we typically get it on. I don't know if that means it'll be a big or a small one if they're out of office for the holiday. Something tells me, because this last one they said was a big one, that we'll be getting a small one and then a big one. Maybe at that point we'll be getting the Blood Knight. I'm sure, like the rest of you, very, very excited for the Blood Knight. Just a new class in general will add a lot of different layers to the game, and I look forward to trying that out. But yeah, I think that so what we are, it said that February 3rd, exactly 3 weeks to put us on February 3rd. That is just a few days away now. So yeah. 3 to 4 days, we should hear something. I'm very excited to hear that. Let me know what you think in the comments below and what you think it's going to be. But let's go to the last one here. I thought this was actually really funny, which is why I wanted to end with this one. So what is this? The Disney Channel. This is brilliant. Encouraging opponents on your server, creating an atmosphere of good sportsmanship and positive relationships among friends and rivals. Talking shit in world chat, but I like this. So true. I see so many people that even I wouldn't expect to talk crap in world chat, talking crap in world chat, especially around sort of like the tense times where the Shadow and the Immortals are fighting. And yeah, definitely around the Shadow Wars as well. But ultimately, I mean, it is a, I would say, necessary evil of the game. It's also really funny. Most of the time, it is lighthearted and not like attacking an individual or like a culture or like a, a race or anything like really like politically bad. It's just sort of like silly banter back and forth that is like obvious, should not be offending anyone, but it's also really funny to talk shit about how bad people are in the game. So there's that. So that is going to do it for this week's Reddit recap. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Which topic was your best? Did any of them strike a specific chord with you? If there's anything you want to talk about more, let me know in the comments below, and I would be happy to expand on it or have a debate or having more of a discussion with you. Until next time, guys, lock it in.